That's already, huh?
Okay, you come start out in the beginning about patting the ears.
This movie's about the Niekamp family from 84 to 87, and there's a list of all the items all the pictures that were taken. We'd like to thank Pat and Mary Niekamp for taking all the time and trouble of putting all these tapes together and having them recorded for the family. So thanks a lot, Pat and Mary. Some pictures of Wisconsin in the fall, and I think everybody's up at Herbie and Carol's for Thanksgiving. There's Uncle Ralph, Carol and Becky and Travis and Emmy doing all the dishes there, the way it looks. Jenny and Carol having a little glass of vino there. There's the Thanksgiving meal. There's Grandpa fixing his front storm door, getting ready for winter. Grandma all decked out in her curlers there. This is at the Niekamp house here, the way it looks. A little family get together. Paul and Judy must be out from West Bend. And there's Judy, Mary, Grandma and Grandpa, and all the kids. There's Uncle Paul. Uncle Pat and Grandpa and Johan and Brent and Jill and Brendy. There's Terry's 13th birthday party. All the kids are over. We had all the Subber family and the Niekamp family over that day. Todd and Kevin eating some birthday cake. Grandma Subber, Sue and Mary, Trish and Mary, Jill, and all the kids are there playing. Looks like the Christmas get-together there with the family at the dinner table. Ryan and Andy were back there, and then there's Jenny and Emmy and Steve and Mary. Crazy Kevin Red and Tim sitting back there nonchalantly. You can kind of tell that all the kids are fired up there a little bit, getting ready to open up their presents. There's Tom's wife, Janice. There was Ben. Kids are singing Christmas carols there. Every year the Niekamps and the Stammans take turn visiting each other on Christmas, and it looks like the Stammans are visiting the Niekamps this particular year. Pete and Luann. Luann's daughter, Pat Putoff. All the grandkids. There's Laura and Beth Niekamp. Beth was probably only about 2 or 3 weeks old here. There's Laura. She's going to tell her sister Beth how to look into the camera. There's Grandpa Niekamp getting ready to go fishing. Bob, Travis, and Emmy there. Travis has got some kind of bug in the jar there. Him and Emmy are investigating it. Christina, Mono, Jack, and Travis and Grandpa. There's Rebecca and Christina. There's Grandpa where he's probably the happiest, out on the water. There's Grandma. They must be going bluegill fishing on Pine Lake. Yep. Boy, that's a dandy there Grandma caught. Nice big bluegill, probably 9-incher the way it looks. Nice fat one. Grandpa and Grandma are having their shore lunch. They come in and take a little break in the action. There's keeper muskie that Grandpa caught. About 32 inches, probably about 8 or 9 pounds. Nice fish. I think he's going to decide to release him though. Let him grow up to be bigger yet. I believe this is at Catfish Lake in Wisconsin. There's Grandma getting ready to go out fishing again. There's Bob's first keeper muskie. Bob and Jack are on the dock there. They have to be a minimum of 30 inches long to keep there at that time. It's springtime now, and Grandpa's getting his boat cleaned up and ready to go. Start another round of summer fishing trips. Grandma's coming out to help out a little bit. You'd look a lot nicer if you'd have your blouse put in your pants there, Mom. Why don't you try to put your blouse in there? Come on, go ahead and put your blouse in there, that way. Here's Jack and Dad and Bob from their deer hunting. They got nice doe and a buck here. There's a buck. They got the doe up already. Good sized deer. Getting them ready to hang and skin them. Herbie also was in that group, and there's Emmy there. There's Grandpa. Says, I got him right there. hunting season's usually the first Saturday after Thanksgiving in Wisconsin, so that's when this is taken. There's the hill house. I'm getting a real nice snowfall up there. Comes Jack out of the old cottage. They're getting ready to, Dad's cleaning the car off with all that snow, and they're going to go deer hunting. It's always good hunting when there's snow on the ground. And there's Grandma. She's throwing a snowball at the old cameraman there, the way it looked. She's going to wish her hubby good luck on his hunting trip there. There's Grandma, Niekamp, and Beth at Mike and Barb's house on the front porch. There's Grandma Subler and Beth and Barb. We're getting ready to go to Wisconsin. This is going to be a real fast trip here. Getting ready to load her up. Stevie's going to hop in. We're going to take off. And we're there. Pretty quick, huh? There's Laura. Barb and Beth and Grandma Subler. This is at Uncle Irv's cottage. There's Patty and Eddie and Irv. Here comes Uncle Charlie. There's Laura. There's Aunt Marge, Barb. Fall time of year, there's some beautiful trees. And there's Scotty. And beautiful Wadley Lake. Got some ducks on the pond out there. Here's Mike. They went down to the river and caught a bunch of little walleyes. Now they're stocking them in the lake. You can see them down in the water. There's quite a few of them. There's a bigger one. Uncle Charlie and Russell, they like those Ohio boys to come up and stock their pond. Beautiful little lake. It's just right across the street from Grandma and Grandpa Nick's, and that's their home place right here. Uncle Ralph owns it now. And here we're up on the hill overlooking the lake where Paul and Dottie's cottage is. There's Grandma Subler and Laura. Here it's wintertime. Herbie and Carol and Russell and Kelly got snow on the ground again. Looks like another deer season. Bob and Jack and Dad are getting ready to go deer hunting again. This is a walleye trip on Lake Erie. Some real nice big walleyes there in the cooler. There's Uncle Ronnie and Ralph Chapman. There's Mike. Yeah, we got him, didn't we, bud? There's Ralph. He's running the old boat. Whoa, look out there. We're going to turn her over. We're getting her fueled up and ready to go out again on another trip. Go sometimes 8 and 10 miles out on Lake Erie. There's Grandpa holding up some, he had a big smallmouth bass that he caught out there. About a 4.5 pound smallmouth and a nice walleye, probably about 3-4 pounds. Nice fish. There's Grandma getting ready for First Communion. I think Jill and Stevie had their First Communion on the same day. There's Grandpa. The only thing I can figure this is one of the boys is running the camera and they're trying to take pictures of ants going across the sidewalk. Here are the First Communion pictures. There's Stevie. Terry walking in behind him. Oh boy, Laura's all dressed up real pretty. Shira. What a nice looking little group that is. There's Grandma Subler. There's Jill and Paul, Judy, and Stevie. We had the reception over at Paul and Judy's house. I think Grandma's babysitting here, Johan and Brent and Laura and Beth. I believe that's Ty in the walker. There's Grandma Niekamp up in Wisconsin again. There's Beth. Laura and Grandma Subler. There's Laura, and Grandpa's cleaning some crappies from the lake there in the background. Yeah, pretty good one. There's Barb and Laura and Beth. They're at Uncle Ralphie's. There's Uncle Ralph and Grandpa, Aunt Patty. Grandma Subler, Rambo, Uncle Eddie. There's some of Uncle Ralph's pet turkeys there. There's a big old tom turkey there. You got chickens and turkeys running all over the place there on the farm. Rambo's going to give Beth a little trouble here. Pictures of the woods by the Hill House there. There's Jack and Becky and Christina and Carrie. Rambo's going to give Christina a little kiss here. Oh, yeah. One more for good measure there. At Paul and Judy's, there's Travis and Stacy and Brad and Joe and Brendy. Emmy getting their pictures taken in front of Paul and Judy's real beautiful home in West Bend. There's Grandpa Niekamp. I think everybody's out for Brendy's first communion. Picture of Todd and Beth in Grandma and Grandpa's house. Grandma and Carol talking things over out there in front of the Hill House. Hammering it up for the cameras there a little bit. Grandpa kind of taking a look at the lake, getting ready to put his boat in. Got a nice little walleye there, a couple pounds. Back cleaning fish again, him and Jack. I think they got mostly bluegills and crappies here. Yeah, pretty nice ones. There's Jack with Christina and Carrie there. Carrie's real tiny there. There's Laura. Grandma Subber. Back at Uncle Ralph's farm with Barb and the kids there. I think we're going to go run the beefers out so the girls can take a look at them. Here they come out. They want to take a look at Ralphie's steers. You girls better watch your fingers there now. They're getting pretty close. Look out. There's Grandma Niekamp. There's a list of all the upcoming films that Pat painstakingly put together for everybody. Still at Uncle Ralph's here now. We're getting a bunch of sweet corn from his garden. Ralph's good at raising sweet corn there. He always has a real nice crop of sweet corn in his garden. Here's a big challenge. All the boys, even when I was a boy, each one of us always had a goal to climb the silo. So this year it looks like it's Stevie's turn. He's going to try to climb all the way up and look out. It gets pretty scary when you get part way up there. It's a pretty high silo. Yeah, looks like he made it. Terry, he's working. He ran out of money already, so he's going to mow some lawn and try to make some money there. There's Uncle Ralph again, carrying his feed sack here the way it looks. Big ball game on the hill. There's Stacy. She's visiting. She does. Come on, Stacy. Look at the camera. Come on. There, she's finally getting her face up there. There's Uncle Benny and Stevie. And Uncle Benny still looks pretty good. So is Uncle Herb. There's Aunt Lorraine. She's finishing up mowing the real beautiful lawn that they have up there. There's Aunt Carol. Aunt Carol hurt her ankle there. She twisted it real bad. She seen a snake in the grass and jumped and turned her ankle. There's Uncle Bob with the boat, and he says, let's go get him. He's ready to go fishing. There's Paul and Judy with their family. Also, Ari Nielsen was along with them there on this trip. They're getting ready to have a nice weekend of fun. A little football game in the backyard. There's Stevie and Travis and B.A. Link there. They play all the time. When they get to be high schoolers, they should be good players as much as they play all the time. This is Pat and Mary's. That was Johan. Got a little ball game out behind Pat's house. Here comes Mary out. All the kids. Jenny, in front of Mom and Dad's house. Little summer vacation. I guess they came down from Stevens Point, Wisconsin. There's Brent and Johan and Laura in the back of Bob's camper truck that he had at that time. There's Bob and Pat talking things over a little bit. Joe and Cheryl, and I think that must be Ross that's in there, right, Cheryl? Arnie and Sherry. Chipper. There's Uncle Ronnie. Like the kids are getting ready to go to the swimming pool. I believe this is a Memorial Day get-together. We usually have a little party. Ron and Doris, and Arnie, and Sherry. Julie's probably around in the car already, I think. Mike and Barb. Barb and Laura. Pictures of some Wisconsin landscape there. Beautiful trees in the fall. This is Paul and Judy's again. All the houses surrounding this taken from their house, and just a look at their neighborhood. These are Brendy's first communion pictures now. The West Bend area is just beautiful with those rolling hills. There's Carrie and Christina, Jill. There's Brendy. Brendy's a little shy. Come on, Brendy. That's the girl. There she's all dressed up in her first communion outfit. Everybody's at the church parking lot there. Bob and Jenny and Joe and Cheryl were up from Ohio. They were the sponsors. There's Ross, and new baby Ross. Jack and Becky. Grandma and Grandpa. Now they're back at the house for the reception and a few more photos. Get your finger out of your nose, Joe. Paul and Judy coming back. There's Tim and Demi. They're out for the summer vacation from Alaska. Barb and Laura and Debbie there, they're all looking at pictures from Alaska, I believe. Grandpa's on the other side of the car. They're waving. There's Laura and Beth. Beth decided to go topless for this shot. Tim and Debbie again. I think they're going to take a drive down to Kentucky there with Grandma and Grandpa to visit Tom and Janice. You go check on them, Grandpa. And Uncle Bob, Uncle Jack, looks like they're on a little fishing expedition here. Uncle Paulie, that's a salmon fishing trip. Cap's Marina on Washington Island. Here I believe now they're at the Lake of the Woods. Way the rock look and everything, yep. That's Grandpa and Jack and Bob up in Canada on their big muskie and northern trip. How big are they going to be? It's going to be that big, huh? There's a beautiful fish. Nice big northern pike there that they caught. There's another dandy. Looks like about a 16, 18 pounder there that Grandpa caught. They're back on the water there again. They got a loon out on the lake. He's going to do a little diving. They can stay underwater for long periods of time. Another big northern. Holy cow, look at that one. That's a monster. I think when they weighed that fish, it weighed a little over 24 pounds. And there's another one a little over 20 pounds right beside it. Really a trophy fish there. Bob and Jack were fishing in Nestor Falls area of the Lake of the Woods there. Grandpa, all three of them, and had a real successful trip, as you can see. There's a fly-in float plane there coming in to land on the lake. There are those two big pike again, aren't they something? Grandpa and Bob on the dock. Looks like some pictures from the ferry boat there going to Washington Island. You know, there's Jack and Bob at Caps Marina. We got some salmon that we came in with. Real nice big fish. Real nice ones. Keep that little one in the cooler, Bob. Don't get him out. He's too little. That makes you appreciate the bigger ones, though, doesn't it? There's Mike's boat. They call that the battleship there. There's Mike and Bob with another batch of salmon. Really got some beauties. They're in the 22 to 25 pound class there. Real nice fish. Fight like the dickens. There's some pictures of Washington Island. They got sheer cliff rock that falls off into 60, 80 feet deep just right off from shore. Really amazing how fast it drops off into deep water. There's Bob getting the poles ready here. He's going to connect on one right away. There's Jack. We're out in the boat fishing. We're just trolling away. Got all of our downriggers set. The Linder boys, Al Linder and his brother, were out up here fishing for salmon the same time as we were. We seen their boat a lot of times for a television program, The End Fisherman. I think Bob and Jack just landed one here and got him in the net yet. Another nice salmon. Yes, sir. That's over 20 pounds. Two of them. Nice fish. Becky and Carrie and Christina was there, and Jack and Becky had a campsite right next to me and Bob's. Salmon fishing was really good that year. There's Mike and Bob and Jack with some more salmon. Nice big ones. There's Jack fishing for salmon there in the back of the boat yet. They're getting ready to bring one into the boat the way it looks here. You know, they got the net out. Yeah, there he comes in. Another dandy. Another big salmon. There's Jim and Pat and Kenny Reichert are fishing Caps Marina at the same time. They got a fish on that they're fighting right now, and I'm trying to photograph it, but we couldn't get too close because we'd be afraid that we'd cut their line off. So, but they're whining one in right now. Nice salmon. Now they're getting the net out, getting ready to net the fish. Yeah, they got him in there. They just put him in the boat.
I think that was Pat that caught that big one.
Yeah, Pat did catch that one. There's Pat and Jack and Jim and Kenny. We're getting ready to get aboard the ferry to go back to Door County Peninsula, get off the island. Had a real successful fishing trip there. And now here's where all the spoils go. We got a real big smoked salmon party. We used the smoker up on the hill. Pat and Mary and all the relatives and the kids were around there, and they just gouged themselves on smoked salmon. Uncle Benny, he got his fair share. Brett and Johan.
Did you back it up and check it? Go ahead.
There the boys slamming the old basketball in the backyard there, or trying to slam it. Well, there they finally got one to go. Paco's shooting around with them there too. I stopped this thing a bit. This is the second time I did it.
Yeah, no, I just, Dad told me.
That pissing.